Well, hey everybody, a long time since I've checked in here. Basically what's going on here is with this car is I've determined that I don't have the time to deal with it. So it is an important part of my family history. And I ran into a guy that lives down the road from me about 20 minutes. And he came out here to buy a transmission from an S10 from me that I wound up not using. And while he was here, he was showing me all these pictures of these cars that he'd restored. And, he was checking out this Studebaker, and I was kind of half-hearted kidding about selling it. And while we were outside, he was looking at my S10, and I had this idea. I said, hey, man, how about I give you this car and spare motor and transmission. You get my truck painted and all the body work on it and all that, and I'll swap you even. He fixes old cars like this. He's got a friend that's an investor, so the car will definitely be fixed, which is better than it sitting here for the last 3 years that it has with me. Now, I did make a couple of concessions because I know you guys that have subscribed to this channel, you want to see about this car. Unfortunately, he just lives down the road from me. So the end goal here is that he said that we could come over there and continue to film, which will be good because then I can film me actually, not having to do it and somebody else doing it. So I'll give you some better content instead of having to stop all the time, which that'll include hopefully the getting the engine running. And the other part of it that I told him really wasn't negotiable was that my uncle and I get to drive the car once it's running. I don't believe that he has any intention of restoring this car because it's, I've showed you guys it's quite the survivor. And I don't know if I ever showed you guys or not. And you got to excuse this garage. It's the car being in here has just caused me just to lose control of this in here. But I'm about to fix that. Look at the, whoa, we're dropping the phone. Look at the oil change stickers from the 60s that are still legible. So I'm pretty sure the idea of this with him is to what I had, which was a survivor car. Of course, it's his car. He can do whatever the hell he wants with it. But I'm hoping that he just keeps the survivor. He seemed to think that he could bring the paint back out and make it look pretty good, and I agree with him. The paint looks like it's in pretty good shape. It's kind of a plum color. There is some body damage on this car where kids had jumped on the hood there. And it pushed back out, but it messed the paint up, which over here is the worst. And that's something my sister did to it. And with a little patience, that can be straightened back up. The whole thing was caved in, and I managed to pull it back out with plungers and whatnot. So a little work, and I think that'll be okay. But, let's look around the car one more time before I move it out of here. And you can see a little dent there. I mean, this is a solid car. There is one spot. I don't know if I showed this to y'all or not. The reason this car was parked was my great aunt was in a car accident. She was really too old to drive, and they took her keys, and my dad wound up with a car. Well, this part of the car was damaged. And I don't know if you guys can see this or not. But, here's your magnet right here. This right here. All of that. That's metal right there. But all of that right there. It's Bondo. Look at that. That barely sticks to that. So that's got to be fixed properly. Door looks okay. Maybe a little filler here and there in it. But this quarter, this is bad. You can see the Bondo all the way back into here. I feel like metal there. But anyway, that's kind of how my dad wound up with the car. She was just too old to drive. And anyway, we're going to keep the content going on this car. Be hopefully a lot better pace than what it was when I was attempting to do it. And guys, I really would like to finish this car myself, but I don't know if you guys have read the rest of the information about it, but the engine is locked up in this car. The breather was not on it, so it was exposed to air. and it's pretty rusty inside. And then the spare engine is also locked up, although the cylinders look much better in it than this one. It's obviously a very low mile car. This car only has, I think, 66,000 on it, 64, something like that, 60 something. But anyway, there's the car. I'm gonna pull it out of here, give it a little wash off, and we'll take some pictures, and I'll post those as well. But y'all stay tuned. This is definitely not over. Hey everybody, I just want to give you a little update on the car. The gentleman that purchased the car from me, he came out and got it. This video is about 3 weeks old, and the engine for the car is still here, the spare engine, so I'm going to deliver that to him. He has some issues on the paint on my truck that he has to work out, so that'll probably be in probably the next 10 to 12 days when I get out there to do that. He has another car in front of it, so he's kind of stuck on that. He's got to get that out of there now. The good news is that he managed to break the engine loose. I was pretty concerned about that, doing it myself. I put the Marvel's Mystery Oil into the engine and let it sit. It had been in there for a better part of a year, and it still seemed very, very stuck to me. I was afraid it was going to break the bolt on the crankshaft, and that's not something that I wanted to get into. And apparently he's braver than me, and he was able to break it loose, which is great news. He says it spins over, and did a compression test and says it has good compression. So that's a really good thing to hear. The car was running when it was parked. Other than the rings not being seated, there's no reason that it shouldn't run, despite all of that struggle. Now, when I go deliver the engine, I'll take my video camera with me, and I'll update you guys on what's going on, and you can meet Bedford, the guy that owns the car now, and so that's pretty much where we're at on it. It is going to be running here very, very soon, and I appreciate you guys sticking through this. I know it's been sort of slow on it because after I found that the engine was locked, I was sort of at a crossroads as to what I was going to do with it. And the fact of the car sitting around for countless more years, considering I'm 53 years old right now, I didn't want it to turn into what it was with my dad and the car sitting there for so long. So anyway, thank you guys for sticking with me, subscribing to the channel. If you haven't, you probably should. I do some other general repair videos on cars, and some funny stuff here and there. And I also do videos of not only my band, which you probably wouldn't find very interesting, but of other bands, regional and local, as well as big acts. Like, for instance, I got some cool videos of ZZ Top and Jeff Beck, and right before Jeff Beck passed away. So there's some other stuff on there too, if that's anything you're interested. Just thought I'd mention it. Anyway, thanks guys again for checking out the channel, and I will see you here very, very soon, I promise.